we're going to start by collecting some references, and then we're going to create what I call the CDK, or the Creature Discovery Kit, which is usually, or not usually, it's essentially your kit of objects that you can use to create your creatures. So I have ZBrush here, and I'm using 2022.0.5. This again is a technique that is agnostic to the software or the version of the software, so you can do this with literally any version of ZBrush or anything that is similar to ZBrush, like I'm going to show you with Modeler. But that's basically it. Let's call it the step 0 is going to be the setup, or what you want to create. Gather inspiration, gather references, that sort of thing, so that when you get to the other parts of the workshop, you have some references and you don't have to be collecting and all of that. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in PureRef and Pinterest. So I'm going to create a new PureRef. And I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with PureRef, but in case you haven't, this is PureRef. It's just like a little window. That's all this software is. It's free, and then it is probably the best, if not, yeah, I think it's the best way of collecting references. And you can save multiple boards of PureRef for different projects. You can embed the images, you can reference them. But anyway, so I use this a lot, and just so you know where I'm coming from, or what this workshop comes from, I basically created a new module for the Extra Mile, the kind of like the flagship course that I have online, that has worked really, really well. And the students are creating amazing stuff from a mini course that is within that course. So I extracted some of the stuff from that course to show you in this workshop, because I think it's something that is a very valuable technique that would benefit everyone. So as I talk about this, I just wanted to show you how I set this up. So I have Pinterest on the side, and then I have PureRef on the side. Now I already have a board that I keep adding stuff to it. It's called the Insects. Where is it? Insects. I think I already have it. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, I already have this one. So I have this board called Insects. And to me, insects are the best source of references or source of inspiration for creature design, because one, they're incredibly weird and they're alien to me, right? Super interesting stuff. And second of all, is nature. So by definition, if they're here, they're already working as a design. It's already working. So I don't need to figure things out. So yeah, I have this board here. I'm pretty sure you can share this work, or this. I think it's public, so you can see it as well. But basically, this is what I use as my point of reference. So what I would suggest is to, grab some images from insects, or it could be anything. It could be, I'll show you in a second. It could be like tropical flowers, tropical plants. That's also pretty cool. But these type of shapes is what is going to be essentially the core element of the design when we get to design the creature. So just collecting some references, some ideas. And this is another reason I use PureRef to collect images, just because you can just sort of drag and drop them directly from the browser, like so. But look at this. This is what I mean about alien. So if you look at this, it's unbelievable, and the richness of the texture, the richness of the patterns, it's perfect. Like there's nothing that you can say. I mean, it is weird. I'll give you that, but it's a perfect example of evolution. So there is reasons for everything to be there. Like I said, if it exists, is because it has evolved to work. So I can rely on these ideas that, okay, if these are real insects, I can extract certain elements of it and apply them to the design, and somehow keep things very alien-like, very weird, but kind of like grounded in reality. So yeah, feel free to spend some time collecting some references using this sort of method. Is really, really easy. You can also create like two boards, let's say one for these references that I'm collecting, and another one for maybe inspiration. Look at this beetle. This thing could be like some predator jaws or something. So this is the type of things that I'm looking at when I'm collecting these references. This one looks pretty xenomorph alien type of thing with a single sort of material. But I love the cleanness of the material with those little tiny details in there. Anyway, we're going to talk about all of that when we get to design, but I just want to show you the entire process basically. So I like to collect some of these references. And what I was saying before about the Extra Mile course, we have this, like I said, like a mini course within the Extra Mile that has worked really, really well. And it is just about 4 lessons. So I'm kind of extracting some of the best bits to do this workshop and to show you some of the the most important steps, I guess, based on that. But I wanted to make that clear that it is a portion of the Extra Mile, or it is based on some of the stuff that have worked really, really well in the Extra Mile. In fact, let's see if I have it here. You continue to collect references and inspiration, and I'll show you something. Let's see, where do I have it? So I'm going to show you some of the snail heads that the snail heads are basically the creature or the character that I do in the Extra Mile course, in this mini course that I'm talking about, that I extracted this sort of workshop from, just to show you the type of stuff that the students are generating. So Casey, I think I saw him here in the Zoom. So look at all the variation of the character and the variation of things that you can create with a similar technique, right? So this is literally things and concepts that the students in the Extra Mile have created, not in the entire course. This is just 4 lessons of the first module. So it is really exciting to see that this systematic approach, these steps are actually working. So yeah, just want to show you that they're very, very different from each other. Some of them are close to each other because that's the actual character that I created, and some people are actually following it. But there's a wide range of really cool characters. But anyway, that is something else. All right, so I think I'm happy with the amount of references I have here, and you see, I have some beetles, some mostly beetles actually, a couple of mantis, and what I'm looking for in this type of references are 2 things. One is the contrast that certain things have, and the shapes. So for me, shapes and contrast or silhouettes and contrast are the most important things when it comes to design a new concept or a new character. So if I were to sort of like squint my eyes a little bit and just concentrate on the blurry shapes, that's what I'm looking for in terms of readability and things that I can translate into my creature. Again, we're going to talk about a lot more about this, but basically, if I look at this mosquito thingy, the contrast and the silhouette and the shape of specifically this pose, it's a great one, but it's also, there's a lot of contrast, and not only on the surface details. Let's say if you look at this thorax bead here, it's kind of like bumpy and has like more of a, there's more contrast in the highlights and the shadows, and you compare that with this portion of this abdomen thing, and it is more like polish and there's less detail. So there's a lot of contrast between, let's say, details and flat surfaces, but there's also a contrast between the colors, right? There's also contrast between the shapes. So you have this sort of blobby, rounded shape, and then you have these elongated things. So these are the types of things that I'm trying to look for in a reference, and then I'll try to infuse my design based on those things and that idea. And this also helps as a reference board. It also helps to situate your character in reality. Like I said, we're gonna talk about more about this. This is kind of like previews of what I wanted to talk about later. But basically, let's say if you create a character or a creature that is kind of like an insect or maybe like an arachnid sort of thing. Like it has these jaws and it has like a compound eye. So like those, not a compound eye, sort of like a set of multiple eyes. Compound eyes? No, compound eyes are like the fly sort of thing. Multiple eyes, like 8 eyes, like an arachnid, right? So you have that creature, and that already gives you a visual cue of what the creature might look like. But then if you start adding, let's say, antennas, and you add 6 legs or something, that sort of mixes 2 type of animals or insects. Well, insects and arachnids. So insects have 6 legs and antennas, like let's say something like this, whereas arachnids have no antennas and have actually 2 portions of the body, and it has like 8 legs. So you can mix and match, but if you maintain your design within a philia or a family of the animal kingdom or the insects or whatever, then it also helps people situate your character in a specific, let's say, environment, if that makes sense. Again, we're going to talk about this a bit more in a second. So let's say I'm happy with this. You can organize this really nicely in PureRef. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about PureRef, but this is the gist of it. You can just organize things any way you want to. You can select them and make them all the same size, that sort of thing. This is what I would call a reference board, but you can also use a inspiration board. An inspiration board, to me, is slightly different. I like to make this differentiation because an inspiration board is essentially what I would use to get inspired, but not necessarily reference it or copy stuff. So I might go ahead and reference this and copy this shape because it is cool, right? But if I look at my inspiration board, I might not copy things exactly, but I get inspired into maybe the mood, the pose or something like that. And an inspiration board just means, it could be work from other artists that inspires me. The style, let's say this one, for instance, is pretty cool, right? So I like, I feel inspired when I see these type of things. So I will just collect this in a separate board or a different section here of the PureRef, just to be able to also look at really cool pictures that are, new creature designs and that sort of thing to help me maintain my course, to keep me inspired to, oh yeah, I'm going to create something like that, right? But I like to make this differentiation so that, if I collect something like this, I wouldn't use that as my reference necessarily to create the same thing, because then it is copying on something. And I guess I'm going to make a small branching out here. I guess this is what I find valuable in terms of AI. I know there's a lot of talk about it, a lot of fear about AI generated images, and it is amazing the stuff that AI can do. There's also, the bad side of things, like using things without copyright or with copyright, without permission, that sort of thing. The only thing that I'm going to mention or say about this is, for instance, Adobe, I think they're doing it correctly in a way, or they're heading towards the right direction because they're using their own, their own algorithm is being trained with the Adobe stock and things that have actually paid for artists and they have credited artists. So it's, there's a blog about it. I'll try to find it and share it. But anyway, this is not about AI. I just want to mention this, and this is the reason why I'm branching out, because the AI stuff is basically what I would think or what I would use as my inspiration board. So rather than going through some stuff, unless I know exactly the artist type that I want to use as my inspiration, I might just go ahead and use AI to produce a bunch of images that I would use as my source of inspiration or reference, right? So I wouldn't use AI to present stuff like that. To me, it's pointless. Even if it gets to a point that that an art director, which I don't think is going to happen, or not a good art director or a good studio is going to say, yeah, I'm just going to give me some options in AI and I'll just pick one. But even if that happens, that to me is pointless, because to be honest, I don't think none of us, certainly not myself, we're not doing these type of things and creating this type of world building and storytelling stuff because we want to have lots of money. I think you can make a great living out of, if you're good at it. But I think the key here is that you are in this industry and you are doing this thing because you're passionate about it, right? And I think if you continue to do your work in this sort of like manner, like you're passionate about it and you're really excited about it, like the fact that you're already here in this workshop is a testament that you want to learn more and you want to build more stuff. If you want to continue doing that, there's always going to be something for you. There's going to be work. There's going to be something that you can do with this learning. And that's what I'm excited about. So anyway, that's going to stop my my rant about AI stuff. But anyway, so this is the first step.